Um, can we talk about the city of the Worves?
Okay. So the audio listeners, you didn't see, but I like shakingly held up my hand as like a out, like a open palm, and then touched it to my face. So earlier today, I watched a trailer for Fatal Fury: City of the Wharves, and I went, "Oh man, it's City of the Wharves," and Paige went, "What?" And I went, "Wharves." And just completely refused to explain myself at all.
That's
And
correct.
I felt like a deep, deep joy.
This is good. This is pure. There are a few pure things left. This is one of them. Garou, City of the Wharves, has
Oh man.
revealed itself finally at long last. We got the announcement trailer. We got a first two screenshots, and we got a little bit of teasing here and there, but we got to see finally some gameplay and some characters and a whole bunch of shit. So it's fucking Garou lore discussion time. If you thought for a second you were coming into this podcast not talking about
Not gonna talk about Worves.
the state of Garou Densets, then too fucking bad. Because here's what's going on. We got to see the announcement where they just kind of showed off a couple of the characters, and then yeah, the full, and then the systems as well. So gameplay wise, it seems as if they've got not like kind of like how Street Fighter 6 has the has the drive system. They've got the Rev system now, and there's going to be Rev blocking and Rev Accel. So what? And it looks like you can just do EX moves into each other, and it seems like you can kind of just
Crazy.
as long as you have the meter for it, you can do a rising tackle diagonally and now into a power dunk at the end if you've got the bar. So just go 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 go, right? Um Mark of the Wolves has always been like, yeah, one of the most solid and fun of the SNK games, but like to keep up with the kids, to come back to this day and age, you're gonna have to, make things a little more exciting. So I'm not surprised to see them take a crack at that and add something that's a little more like spectacle oriented, considering how kind of tame it could
Oh
be at
hey, I'm being
times.
informed by people in the chat as of a couple hours ago. Justin Wong put up 40 minutes
Ooh,
of just matches.
he got matches going. Damn. Okay, I haven't
Just a
seen
bunch of matches, just 40
as of
minutes of
right now.
matches.
Oh shit. Okay, so um, so yeah, we got to see the the style of the game visually, which I was wondering.
Looks
So like,
great.
it looks great. It looks really nice, and there's a nice stylish pop art effect that goes off whenever they do one of their specials.
You know what it
Uh,
looks like?
mm,
It looks like what Marvel Infinite should look like.
right, right, Marvel 3 style with the comic book pop. Yes, 100%. I super agree. When you saw that effect, I mean, to be fair to Marvel, like that, they 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 had a lot of the effect of when you saw Wolverine doing Berserker Barrage in in the original. He's slicing through the panel of the comic, right? Like it
Hmm.
looks like a really distinct effect. And then Infinite didn't, not Infinite, even Ultimate, they didn't really carry that effect forward aggressively. Like they did a bit of that on launch, but it wasn't like huge identity of the game. Um, what you're seeing here in City of the Wolves looks really like aggressive with that style. But the rest of it is also fairly just like, it just looks sharp. It looks tame, looks pretty good. The backgrounds look detailed. I was wondering if they would go for something really bold, but I also know that like SNK is probably not in a position to get too expensive an art choice with these games, right? Like
So
the KOF and Samurai Showdown visual style is showing you the range they have.
so maybe I'm like a stupid asshole. So like let's all just sit and believe that for a second it's possible, okay?
Done.
Um I look at Mark of the Wharves. I look at City of the Wharves,
Correct.
and I look at what I feel like KOF 14 should have looked like.
Mm-hmm. Oh, for sure. For sure. The problem
Like
was
this is the first of all the 3D SNK games where I'm going like, yeah, okay.
Well, because KOF 14 was the first of the 3D SNK games that was like, hey, we can't do the sprites anymore. Time to start this route. I guess we're going to start our baby steps as the Simple 2000, Andy Bogard, and we'll take our steps from there. I mean, I'll always remember I was at the presentation for when they were revealing Sam's show, and they just had a screenshot of Nakaruru in KOF 14 versus in Sam's show, and it looked unbelievably bad next to the that version. It was so like much worse, you know. So they've stepped it up quite a bit, and here stepping it up again, it just looks like a pretty good 3D representation of these characters. There's that little, again, that hope that you're gonna get like a really crazy new style of like 3D or something that's gonna happen in a way is gonna be expressed in the way that the flash occurs when you do supers, when you do specials, a lot of that extra stuff. But it looks good. We're seeing Rock Howard, Terry Bogard, T-Zoc the Griffin, Hotaru Futaba, and Preacha. So Preacha is interesting because Preacha appears to be the student of Joe Higashi doing a bunch of Muay Thai. However, if you are an eagle-eyed lore follower, lore enjoyer, you might remember when Mark of the Wolves 2, the original sprite-based game, first had its details leaked, and like some of that stuff was found on an old disc from the ancient coffers of SNK that shut down. They had sprites of characters that were supposed to be new, one of which was for a character named Quan. Quan was a Joe Higashi student, and she had orange pants and like a white top and a Muay Thai stance. And you saw standing next to her Joe Higashi with bandaged up arm and like a crutch. So
yeah, because Joe, strangely, despite being like a major character in Fatal Fury, just didn't get one of his disciples out forward into Garo.
There was no Muay Thai representative. So you see then this character in some of the sprites, and there's also concept art for a Muay Thai girl that has Joe Higashi bandaged up next to her, and like some of it ranges from him just being like in a sling, but there's one where Joe is like in mummy wraps, like his whole body has been fucked up, like super duper bad, and he's just like barely able to move, but he's like, go fight on my behalf.
That's the move that put me in the hospital.
There you go. So Quan, it seems like they took Quan's design and updated it. They kept the same color scheme and redesigned it to be Preacha, who's got like glasses and blue and pink hair, and overall a bunch of Joe Higashi ass hurricane Muay Thai style moves. So that seems cool. The other bit is looking at some of what you're seeing Terry and well, okay, Griffin, right? T-Zoc, you're seeing him do everything you'd expect. His lunge and grab goes a little bit further, but now his like super that does like multiple hits has like different styles of punches and lariats to it.
There's something in this footage that I saw during T-Zoc matches that I'm absolutely in love with. It is such a specific fighting game ism, like fighting game idiosyncrasy that maybe some people don't care about, but it made me laugh really hard. So, T-Zoc in his old move, Big Ball, he would grab you off the floor with one hand and he would smash you into the ceiling. But it wasn't it was Fall?
I'm pretty sure it's Big Fall.
I thought it was Big Ball. Whatever.
Big Fall.
That makes way more sense. Anyway, so he smashes you into the ceiling, but the ceiling isn't really the ceiling. It's the edge of your TV, right?
Yeah.
Because this doesn't actually have a top to it. When you see him do the move now, they use the 3D camera.
Yeah.
And he grabs you by the neck and does the speed lines and slams you into nothing.
Into nothing.
Into nothing.
Yeah.
On like there's no ceiling, there's nothing.
Yeah.
It's where the top of the screen would be, but he slams you into nothing at all before finishing the move. And I saw one with Rock. Rock can does a super and Terry bounces off the edge of the stage, but he's bouncing off of nothing.
The camera rotates to show you the stage wall that is nothing. Yes, correct.
And it's hilarious. It's so funny.
The rules of fighting games still apply, even though we can rotate the camera to angles you otherwise wouldn't be able to see. Yeah, no.
It's great. It's fucking great.
You're seeing exactly that. I always also interpreted that when you're getting like Izuna dropped by T-Zoc, that like the speed lines are meant to convey that you're flying super high into the air and then super far back down to the earth.
It's also to like trick you in the fact that like T-Zoc is actually moving across the screen at an incredibly slow pace.
At an incredibly slow, ridiculously slow. Also,
speed lines are crazy. You can do all sorts of crazy shit with speed lines.
Important too. Not the king of dinosaurs. T-Zoc the Griffin. No, he's back
to T-Zoc.
Well, I mean, he always was. The king of dinosaurs.
Well, he's not the Griffin.
The king of dinosaurs, whoever that might be, remains,
whoever that was,
remains in the world of the King of Fighters. But in Fatal Fury, we've got T-Zoc, and that's like a fun little bit too, because if you think about Raiden and Big Bear back in the day, it's a similar kind of like mask on, mask off kind of kayfabe bit. That's one of the things they showed off. We see a couple of other things that Rock and Terry are pretty much doing the moves you recognize, except now rising tackle going diagonal. Suddenly it makes sense and is suddenly it's actually has a utility that can function properly, even though the actual physics of what he's doing remains the dumbest anti-air I've ever seen.
Well, Woolie, we've had like a lot of discussions over the years. And like, I remember so many times the argument came up of like, rising tackle is like the worst move from like a concept point of view. Like one arm out, upside down,
one leg up.
Oh my
spinning.
God.
Just
so awful
because it screams, we're not doing a Shoryuken, shut up, we're doing our own thing. This is not a rising uppercut, it's its own thing, shut up though, don't sue us, fuck you. Like it screams, you can't sue us. It screams, yeah, there's nothing remotely resembling a tackle about it, for the record. So that's all there. But interesting, at the end of the trailer, we see a moment where Rock's like, this was for you, Terry. Power geyser, right? And does an actual fucking Terry move. You're like, oh shit, that's cool. That's interesting, because Terry's Rock's moveset has always been a take on Geese Howard's moves and a fusion of Terry Bogard's moves together. So, he's got a rising tackle, he's got his own crack shoot version of the kick, but then he's got a Rapuken, and he's got the counters and the deadly rave, obviously. So a lot of that is there. But now the question, I suppose, is what are the lore implications? Because anyone who might remember Mark of the Wolves, the story, if you unlock the true ending with Rock Howard, he beats Kane, and he's about to beat his ass and be done with him. But then Kane reveals that, your mother's still alive, and I know where she is. And then Rock's like, and then so Terry comes out later and is like, yo, Rock, what's going on? Where you going? And he's like, Terry, leave me alone. And then he partners up with Kane, and he basically gets blackmailed into being a bad guy. So are they going to follow up on this? Are we going to continue? And Terry's like, hey, I trust you, whatever the case may be. But, Rock getting forced to the dark side was the cliffhanger that we left out on, So yeah, are we gonna see that continue, or are they gonna? Is that going to play a role at all in what's going forward in time? And is he doing a power geyser out of just like, hey, I won't forget? One thing's for sure, Terry Bogard does a Buster Wolf, and it looks like shit.
It looks so bad.
That Buster Wolf looks terrible, man.
It looks,
come on.
So like
it's flaccid. It's the best move Terry's ever had, and they made it look weak. Come on.
Actually, it's really funny because there were always different parts of the Buster Wolf animation, and like part of the, like him yelling out the absolute nonsense, "Are you okay?
Are you okay?"
is complete. Like it's part of it, right?
Buster
but there are always two parts to the Buster Wolf. There's the hit with his fist, and then what looked like the explosion that came off like behind him and like did the follow-up hit on the opponent.
Yeah.
And what they decided to focus on in City of the Worves is the individual strikes of the explosion hitting them instead of the gigantic huge fist.
Boom! The fucking right? And then they got that in KOF 15 as well. You know, they like everyone understands the idea of like the impact of why this works and the explosion of the final hit and the positioning. Smash Brothers, you know what I mean? Like you get it. It's such a sick move. It's iconic. God damn it.
Smash Brothers gets it, man.
Well, it's like fucking up the Shin Shoryuken, right? You're like you know that the Horf is what matters here. Don't fuck up
the Horf.
It's all about the Horf.
So by the way, people, we've said this before. Sometimes people don't know what we mean by the Horf. The Horf is that noise you make when somebody sucker punches you in the stomach and you're trying not to throw up.
it's the air leaving your body as you get crumpled over for the first hit of Shin Shoryuken, you know, and then the rhythm of the butt, shit, you know, like it's that's great. So Buster Wolf looking flaccid here. That's my only downside on the trailer. I hope that we hope we do something about that shit, man.
I also hope this.
Beyond that, though, yeah, Hotaru as well, still looking like Hotaru. Guess what? She's gonna hump you.
Hotaru.
She's gonna hope your gato. She's gonna mount you.
Exactly the same.
Zero change.
Which is
nothing. Yeah.
A little odd.
To be fair, everyone else does as well. Like it's like no time has passed whatsoever. This might be taking place just like, you know, seconds after the first game ends, really.
Yeah, 10 minutes later. He told Kane, yeah, okay, and then he shot him, and then we're done.
But yeah, that's the initial reveal. If they're gonna follow suit at all with the sprites that we saw from that leak, you know, it would be cool to get like all the returning characters there. But the there was a sprite as well of Andy Bogard who like hadn't been seen in a minute since Hokutomaru replaced him. But I'm really hoping that we
love
get
Andy. Andy's great.
Well, what would be really sick here is if we get like obviously the twins, right? And like what the whole Kim family is up to, because now we know that you've got Kim, you've got Dong-hwan and Jae-hoon, and then you've got Kim Soo-il, the cousin, you've got Gang-il, the teacher, and then his wife with the big sits. You know, there's a whole family of justice taekwondo.
There's a lot going on with those Koreans.
And you know what?
A lot.
Throw in Choi and Chang in there too, right? They're criminals, but for Freddy Krueger.
I like those guys.
Yeah, Choi and Chang are cool. The extended.
They should put them in because I like them.
The Capwan universe, right? So I want to see the full extent of that for sure. Similarly, Kushnud Butt, Marco Rodriguez, seeing what he's up to, if he's going to be the only Kyokugen representative, or if we're going to get someone else from, you know, maybe Mr. Karate in the form of Old Rio, since that's what he becomes in the future. Kevin fucking Ryan.
No, Kevin died.
Crawling on the ground. Yeah, well...
It's kind of a shame, dude, but Kevin did die.
if they fast forwarded in time, we would be able to get grown up Marky, the little kid that he hung out with. But like, it seems as if we're probably not gonna, because it takes place too soon. And then yes, Freeman, aka not Iori, as well, has always been a favorite. I mean, Freeman is sick though. I've always liked his.
What do you even do with like not Freeman? Like,
what?
What would you even do with not Freeman? Right? Like, what the fuck would Freeman's disciple possibly look like?
Oh, yeah, just some weirdo. You know what they would do? They would pull an Aki. They'd go like, it's a psycho killer, but this time it's a girl.
Yeah, they would.
That's the move, right? And then, yes, of course, like, the most popular breakout character from that game, fucking B. Jennett, right? There's no question she's coming back.
She, like, escaped so hard compared to the others.
Not at all. Did you see how fucking sick that pirate girl design is? It's incredible. She's one of the best pirate girl designs of all time. There's no mystery whatsoever. Like, she escaped terminal velocity on planet Garo and made her way out. Everyone loves B. Jenny. So, yeah, and similarly, no one likes Hokutomaru. It's the exact opposite. He's stuck in that world forever.
I don't care for him.
So we'll see. I hope we also get the other. There was another original character that looked kind of like a newsy kid. It was like a kid that was wearing one of them kind of newsy caps and like had a little vest and stuff with white hair. Don't know what his deal was, but it was kind of a fun design. So you know, I hope we get to revitalize some of those original leaked characters too. But ultimately, yeah, fucking City of the Worves coming out 2025.
City of the Worves, man. Those Worves are ready to hunt.
My gameplay wise, I remember one of the things I was wondering is like, okay, they'd have to fix the top system and make Just Defend maybe a little bit less rewarding, because there's a couple things about the game more in depth that were like, okay, there's something called Just Defend where it's like a parry in Third Strike, except instead of pressing forward at the last second before you get hit, you press back, right? So you could do something like Evo Moment 37, but it's way easier or it's less risky because you're pressing a block instead of towards your opponent. And each time you could successfully do it, you literally heal a sliver of life up. So
I always liked Just Defend.
It's so rewarding. It's so good, you know. So yeah, for a healing ability, it's gotta be a bit harder, I think, or cost something. Maybe only during top mode. Top mode was you'd pick 1/3 of your life bar, and during that, your character would flash. You would get access to a new move. And yeah, like you know, that was kind of like you'd in some cases that move was amazing. In some cases it was terrible and you'd never land it. You know, Rock Howard's was big and slow, and it was a really slow version of the crack shoot kick. You know, but in any case, yeah, I'm fully expecting to see some like KOF 15 style. You spend your meter to do like 3 EXs into one big final level 1, or you know, maybe like 2 EXs into a level 2 or something like that. And these maximum damage combos that'll do a big fuck ton for all your resources. But yeah, I guess we'll have to get a better look if Justin Wong's got a bunch of footage now as well.
Yeah, I was taking a look at a bunch of it. There's tons. There's tons of. It's real match footage. It's not like. Sometimes you get the danger of, like, I remember when IGN put out Dragon's Dogma 2 footage, and you're like, I would rather be watching fucking nothing than this fucking garbage.
The number one feature that has to fucking return of everything, though, unique to this game, is the second after you KO somebody, there's like 2 seconds of movement where you can walk around and do anything. You can taunt them. But only during that 2 seconds of post-hit KO, there's 2 unique taunts you can do, holding back and taunt or forward and taunt, that are...
And they're the best!
Yeah, they're totally like talking mad shit, but you could only do them right after you win in that little moment. You know, like Dong Hwan would like lean down and talk shit to you. You know, like it's great.
For me, it's T-Zok doing the German bridge, headbutting the ground,
GTO style. Yeah. And then immediately afterwards with Dong Hwan, like he's talking shit, and then Kim Kapan lands behind him. Oh yeah. I want that. I want the ability to like prime up the wings win pose with Rock Howard, you know? Super cool. So yeah, really hoping that the flow of that ends up being. It looks like it's again like Garo style, but with KOF 15 levels of like I guess combo extensions happening. So should be great. Just drop a nice roster on that of all the faves and some of the new ones we saw, and yeah, you got a good ass game.
I'm excited for those Worves. I do we? I'm just like, do I want anything to happen with Geese?
Oh,
like,
you don't.
Do I want him to crawl out of a grave?
I mean, God. Like, okay. Flashback. But no. If Rock Howard can't flashback, well, no, I guess.
Can't he be Nightmare Geese?
He can flash back to Dream Nightmare Geese. He could, because Geese was alive for the first couple years of his life. You know, he did have a solid maybe 5 or so years, right, before Terry fucking blew his ass out of that skyscraper.
Wait, is the implication here that, like, Geese taught a 5-year-old how to do Raging Storm?
I think the idea is, like, he kind of saw it peeking from behind a pillar, right? He saw it happening while they were fighting, but it's in his blood, because a whole part of like every time he does one of the Raging Storm moves, or when he does Deadly Rave Neo, at the end he goes like, ah, and it hurts him, and he's like, my blood is boiling. His win quotes are all about how like his evil Howard blood, like the evil businessman CEO blood within him is burning inside. You know, like it can only take the calm lessons of a homeless like pizza delivery man to get that
Terry's
out of him.
Not calm. Terry's also got burning blood.
Yeah, but he's like off the couch.
He's just not evil.
No, he's on the couch like burning blood, you know? Like it burns and then it goes back to fucking mellowing out, you know? Like it was burning for a while when Jeff Bogard died, and then he got it out of his system, and now he just hangs out on the couch. He got his revenge. He did.
Yeah, he got it, and he's like, okay,
He didn't even want it, you know? He
tried
tried
to just make do.
He tried to save him. Certainly they existed, those blinded by ambition. And they wanted to fucking talk mad shit and pop off. So they're like, they pulled the Geese pulled the ultimate "you didn't win, fuck you," you know, which is cold as ice when you have a child. Like, to literally be like, nah, taking this L and haunting your dreams is more important than my kid, though. Fuck.